Hello indie game fans, as is part and parcel of this season, we have quite a number of new games announced at events like the Game Awards, with some returning titles that give us a better look at their gameplay, as well as some not so indie titles that I think are still worth keeping an eye on. Let's begin with Neurodiver, an action roguelite that I'm very excited about, which placed very high on my list of games in the genre that I'm looking forward to, which you can watch, link in the top right. This got a gorgeous cinematic trailer, which shows off even more of the pixel art, and I'll admit, I do love this way of making a cinematic trailer, since it is actually intertwined with some actual gameplay footage, where the big news with this is that a demo is available right now on Steam, so go check it out and get excited.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the moment you've all been waiting for!
The grand reopening of the Circus Electrique. This gifted group await their first glorious night performing under the big top. At least, it was supposed to be. Now, they fight for their lives, for a madness has suddenly enslaved the city, not letting go. And it will take unique talents like theirs to free it.
Our first bigger game is Circus Electrique, a turn-based RPG with a theme and look that I absolutely love. Interestingly, this follows in the footsteps of games like The Amazing American Circus, but where combat is a lot more direct and seems inspired by Darkest Dungeon. Still, the circus is a theme that is ripe for video games with the variety of characters, making this one to watch.
Against any challenge.
Kickstarter campaigns seem to have slowed down a little this month, but one that caught my eye is RECURSOR, since this pixel art roguelike platformer has quite an interesting combat mechanic. If you cannot already tell, combat is inspired by platform fighters like Rivals of Aether or Super Smash Bros., but is combined with the procedural generation and permadeath of a roguelite. As such, this could be seen as a Trojan horse into getting people interested in this subset of fighting games, but for the look and action alone, this got my attention. It is already fully funded on Kickstarter as of recording, but do hop on over to check out the stretch goals and rewards. I've actually combined two 30 seconds teaser trailers together for this next entry, since it has been a while since I last talked about the visual novel Read Only Memories Neurodiver, the sequel to a great game from 2015 that has some gorgeous pixel art. You play as a psychic detective, having to hunt down something known as an Esper who is hiding in the memories of people, where, based on how well the first game was received, makes this a title of interest.
There was a soul. Had music inside. They called her the Unknown.
One of the rhythm first-person shooters that I'm looking forward to is Metal Hellsinger, one where you have to fire and reload on the beat, and where you play as a creature known as the Unknown, delving into hell and slaying demons on a quest for vengeance. Now I'm not taking any chances with YouTube's copyright system, so I've edited out the trailer music, but it does appear that the developers did manage to onboard some great bands to their game, where if BPM bullets per minute is anything to go by, should be a pretty good experience. I just talked about V Rising in a video covering upcoming games like Diablo, again, link in the top right, and the developer did release quite an extensive gameplay trailer that shows these characters battling through the woods. You play as a newly reawakened vampire, weakened by slumber, and have to hunt to regain your strength and rebuild your empire. Interestingly, this is an open-world survival game with city-building elements as you rebuild your castle, where as a vampire, the day-night cycle becomes especially critical, shown in the closing seconds of this trailer. The action otherwise does look very slick and very good, with a number of different abilities at your disposal, but it certainly seems to be more like Diablo 3 than 2, but is a title of interest nonetheless.
Well, looks like it's bon voyage to our old pals Cuphead, Bugman, and the lovely Miss Chalice. They're off on their next adventure, this time to the fabled DLC Island. What challenges await in this enchanted land?
One of the biggest announcements from the Game Awards is that we finally have a release date for Cuphead, The Delicious Last Course, the DLC to one of the most popular games of all time, not least because of the art and animation. Of course, the original captured the attention of many, with an animation style that is a throwback to the 1930s, where I think that this trailer is excellently done, being set up like an episode from a cartoon, where the extra effort has been taken into making 3D dioramas. While we only get a limited look at the gameplay, this adds a new playable character with a different moveset, new bosses, weapons, and a new storyline, making this a must-play for fans of the original.
He's the best baker in the land. His cookies are sure to put some pep in your step. Oh! And you'll need it. For there's a new challenge waiting around every corner on the amazing DLC Island.
Ever since the day the portal network collapsed, stranding us in these realms, we have searched for a way home.
Lost and alone in the dangerous labyrinth of fantastical worlds. Welcome to the lands of Fae.
Among the bigger games announced at the Game Awards, the title that got my attention the most is Nightingale, an open-world survival title with some of the most horrific monster designs that I have seen. This comes to us from Inflexion Games, which is a new studio formed by the ex-BioWare GM and has already employed at least 70 plus people, so it is not indie by any stretch, but I can certainly see the similarities to games like Sir, You Are Being Hunted. The vaguely steampunk Victorian-inspired characters and world looks well made, crossed of course with fantastical monsters and creatures like giants and trolls. It is a shared world experience with multiplayer support, looking like a very promising title worth keeping an eye on, and will be releasing in early access next year.
Nightingale, our beacon of hope. But beyond our reach. As long as we stand together, our journey will unite us.
You, the Realm Walkers, are all that is left.
恐れの主とは我のことよ、じじい。己が身につけし技を見せてみよ、ヒロキ。
One of the most impressive titles to use monochrome in recent memory is Trek to Yomi, a samurai-themed action-adventure game where this new gameplay trailer does actually show off some exploration from an isometric camera angle. Of course, this is paying tribute to the Japanese filmmaker Akira Kurosawa, who is known for precisely this look in his films, so hopefully this game will live up to that legacy. One of the named developers on this game also worked on the 2-bit CGA title The Eternal Castle Remastered, and it is being published by Devolver, so I have confidence that this will turn out well.
Ah, good morning, Death. What a lovely day to be alive, wouldn't you say? Ready for another busy week in the afterlife? Oh my, busy may have been an understatement. Evidently, your sorrows have been working overtime. Oh my, really? Wow, that is truly unprofessional. Now, Death, we talked about this. Try not to lose your temper again. Maybe it's about time your subordinates showed you some respect. Well, you know what they say. If you want things done right, it's best to do them yourself.
While there are many games where you play as Death or the Grim Reaper, Have a Nice Death stands out due to the art and action, certainly having some Hollow Knight inspiration if I were to guess, but it's a roguelite platformer instead. You play as the overworked Death, whose employees have been messing up, so pick up your scythe and get down and dirty by whipping them into shape, looking like one of the best upcoming games in the space, taking the #1 spot. For more roguelites, watch these videos and I will see you after the jump.